Hi guys, welcome to RVTM. My name is Richie and in today's video, well, I guess I should call it the aftermath of the Hi REN reaction video I posted a few days ago. Now, please bear with me because I think this video, although it's very different, can be very important to get this message across. I like to share it with you, so I hope you want to listen to me for 10-15 minutes. I don't know how long it will be. Um, so the aftermath of the Hi REN reaction video. What happened after I did this reaction video? Well, I have a small reaction channel, but I started when the views were coming in, more and more nice, friendly, boosting comments people made by supporting me for opening up. They found my story parallel to the REN story beautiful, and I want to thank you for all this friendly and warm support I got in the comments. But I have to promise you and tell you that it was REN that made me do it. You know, I saw his video. I've been reading about him when you asked me to do a reaction video on him because I never heard of REN. And during the video, I knew, oh my God, this is going for me the wrong way. All my emotions are coming to the surface back again. I see myself through all this period and I see myself in this guy, you know. I know what he's talking about. I love the creative, artistic way he's doing the conversation with himself, you know, and the way he reaches people by this raw version of Hi REN. I really admired it and I felt my emotions coming to the surface, and I started to tell more and more about my own journey, and I even got very emotional and into tears from some things I saw that meant the world to me because I knew the metaphoric for symbol almost from standing up from his chair, or for instance his wheelchair. But anyway, this whole aftermath became more and more surprising to me because I started to get more and more emails, and still today I'm getting emails, and even more the more views I get from people telling me their story with their chronic illness, their struggle they have to go to or they went through to get a diagnosis. And it was heartbreaking to read and also beautiful, beautiful that people shared this with me and trusted me with their story, and that somehow my reaction video, such a small reaction channel, doing the Hi REN video, so I think it's all due to him by opening up. We start sharing as a group of chronic illness people their story, and you start to share it with me. But what I've been reading is it felt saddening and heartbreaking and beautiful at the same time. And I thought I have to do something with it because I owe it to REN, I owe it to the people writing to me with their story to at least tell something. And I hope you want to listen to what I have to say, because I can so relate to them. What these people are missing, and I read between the lines, is they feel alone, they feel desperate, they feel almost at the end of their wit. You know, why don't people understand what I'm saying? It's you feel the frustration that nobody seems to understand and listen to what they are saying. I've read how they struggled with their symptoms and explaining it to specialists and doctors, and they keep being sent away with anxiety or panic attacks or mental issues. And of course, when you have severe bodily symptoms, I recognize myself. When in 2008 it all started for me, I was an avid runner, a jogger. I felt as strong as an ox, and from one day till the next, I felt like I'm getting a heart attack. And this has happened one time. No, this happened twice or three times a day. And when did it happen? When I stood up or started walking even, or tried to do something, my heart would explode with a high heart rate. My chest would explode. My blood pressure was over the place. I started to feel dizzy. very fatigued, muscle pain everywhere, digestive issues, and I thought I'm a goner. This is not good. I won't last long. And so I went to hospitals, and I even was sent to ERs with an ambulance. And well, then they looked at my heart and they say, well, your heart is structural fine. There is nothing wrong with you. And I thought, nothing wrong with me? Are you insane? I'm dying here. And it's getting more and more complicated and tougher to bear mentally if you have very debilitating symptoms, but nobody seems to understand what is going on. And of course you get anxious. I mean, in my case, of course I got anxious. I mean, my heart was doing all kind of stuff. I felt like I'm getting a heart attack all the time. So yeah, it's I think it's normal you got anxious but the problem was, and I read it in all your emails as well, when the mental component starts to add on your symptoms, which is perfectly normal, then doctors have even a better excuse to say, see, it's all stress, it's all anxiety, it's all panic attacks or whatever. Yeah, very simple, but not very fair, because the bodily symptoms were first, and they're 9 times out of 10 leading. I mean, if you have pain or physical symptoms, it's leading, and of course you can get anxiety from it, but it's often not, oh, I have anxiety and now I have bodily symptoms. No, in a chronic illness, it's often bodily symptoms first, then the mental stress you get with it. Anyway, so while I was reading all your emails, I saw this common denominator, that everything was put between your ears and in your head, like a stress or an anxiety or a burnout. And this medical gaslighting, what it is, it's basically the biggest opponent you have during your whole process of a chronic illness. I mean, your bodily symptoms themselves are already hell to go through, but if you don't get anyone understanding it, or they're figuring out what is really wrong with you, then your mental stress is getting more and more, because you start to doubt yourself. People start to doubt you. Even you start to lose people and friends around you because you can't be the person they want you to be anymore. He was this funny guy you can always come to, and we always had fun, and we went out or to football games or whatever, or concert. And now he's in his bed, I'm talking about myself, and he can't do anything anymore, and he thinks he's going to die, and oh. So it's a very lonely process, and I'm smiling at it, but it's my way to cope with it. But in a way, I'm feeling it. I could cry, but that doesn't help. I learned that it's gets me nowhere in the end. But it's basically the reason you become very alone, and you feel very alone in the whole ordeal. And in a way, it's what started for me my reaction channel, my channel on YouTube, because somehow, and it was almost at the end of my whole circle, I started to think, Richie, you should change things. I mean, you're now in bed. I literally had to crawl to the toilet because I couldn't do anything anymore. I had to wait till 2016 to get a diagnosis, and my dysautonomia then was diagnosed after 8 years, wreaked so much havoc on my body, like I've been reading with REN, with his Lyme disease, that there was so much dysfunctions and problems going on that the specialist told me, well, you have probably 5 or 10% chance to ever walk again and to have basically some normal life. And I could have then start to even lose more hope, but for me it was kind of a sigh of relief. Okay, now I know what's going on. I'm not crazy. I've been in bed for 7 years almost now, can't do anything anymore. been sent away from hospitals that nothing is wrong and it must be anxiety or all in my head. And now I know I wasn't wrong, and I can be very angry and upset with everyone now, but it won't help me. I need to start focusing on what can I do from now on, because I now at least knew that I probably won't die from it. I can try to do something with it. And I want to people who are listening now to me and going through their chronic illness, I want to almost spare you those long years that I have to go to and had to go to get there. And I learned that the past does not equal the future. That although the past was for years really bad, that I start to think, okay, maybe things can change. I mean, it took 8 years to get the diagnosis, but here it is. Maybe things can change for the better. I don't know. It can go worse as well, but if things can go worse, they can go better as well. It's a 50-50 story. And I started to focus on what I can do. And then I started to do this YouTube channel I have. And I started to do things that I like. And that was listening to music, because I have a large record collection. And I started uploading it on YouTube because I thought, if I'm tired or I can't do anything because I can't sit on my chair and listen here in my room, it was an other room back then, but it's not the problem now, not the issue. Then at least when I lay flat, I can listen with my headphones on digitally on my songs, on my own. I can watch my own records, my vinyl. And what I noticed, and that became fantastic for me, when I was listening to one of my own uploads then, yeah, it's strange, but I did. And I saw that someone watched as well, so I got a view or a comment or anything on it. Then I thought, oh wow, that's interesting. Someone in the world out there has listened to my record, and it's like we listened together to my record, and like a form of connection and interaction and communication between one another. So that meant the world to me. And a few years later, I started to do reaction videos, and I had pauses in between due to my health, because I still have this severe dysautonomia, and I still have very bad days and reasonably good days nowadays. But I started to do reaction videos because you guys asked me to, and I felt very anxious to do this, to get in front of the camera, to see my own head, to hear my own voice, to wear these weird glasses, but I have to do because of my diplopia and my eyesight. And well, the great way was that in the end I start to like it because we connect, we have something in common. We listen to music together and we share a story together. And I read your comments or your suggestions, and I have real interaction with you. And for me, it's difficult because for 8 years, I wasn't even able to go outside. And it's that what I want to give to the people that wrote to me and are now watching. Try to focus on things you can do. And remember again that the past does not equal the future. It sounds lame. It sounds maybe easily said, but it isn't, because you have to let go of all the frustration and anger and all the negative emotions, and you start using it for you. And I think that is what Ren did in his videos. You feel his story, you feel his anger, you feel his sadness, you feel his despair, but he starts using it for him, not against him anymore. And I love the fact how he explained it in Hi REN as this eternal dance, because it won't change your health. Your symptoms will probably be with you with this chronic illness, and if you're unlucky, they will stay with you forever. But you need to let go of the fight, not the fight to get recognition and validation and to watch your health, but the fight to that you can't change things that you can't change. It's if things happen, they happened. If things went this way, they went this way, and you can blame people for it or yourself or whatever, but it won't help you get anywhere. Try to focus on what you can do. Start by getting through the day by day, second by second, hour by hour, and see what you can do. Focus on the positive things you can make of the day. If that for you at that moment is listening to a song, watching your kid play, being able to do anything you maybe yesterday couldn't do or whatever, enjoy it. And keep believing that there will be a moment that things can become better. If you get the right help, if you find a specialist or a person that listens to you and starts to acknowledge and validate what is going on, so you can get your help, or at least can get some help with controlling or maintaining some bodily activity during your chronic illness. And the best part of is when you have this validation, when people listen to you, the mental struggle, which is by far even the heaviest struggle to go through besides your bodily symptoms, it will start to, I don't know, relax. You can let go. You can yeah, sometimes you will feel bad, but it's not this internal struggle like REN so eloquently and so fantastically showed us in his Hi REN song. Well guys, this was my video on the aftermath of Hi REN. I hope if I was able to get my message across and maybe help a little with only one person viewing this, then I reached my goal here. I can't reach as many people as REN did. I can't do it as well as he did, and it's good. I admire him and I applaud him for what he did, and it started me and let me think to do something myself, especially after getting all these heartbreaking emails. Guys, keep the faith, and I will leave you with the phrase I will always leave you with, and that is please stay safe and bye for now.